What's going on in America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, trying to make sense out of nonsense. Now, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, Donald Trump comes out, makes an announcement about the border situation, gives a wonderful presentation, goes through all of the proposals and the plan, laid it out in a strategic way, and such a compelling argument and a compromise as well, and included the DACA recipients and included those that might have overstayed their visa. I mean, he just broke it all the way down. He talked about, the damaging parts of illegal immigration, how it impacts not only our citizens, but the migrants that's coming. And he talked about the caravans that are still coming, and he talked about the need for the border wall or barrier. He even talked about these are requests from our border agents and stuff like that. Now, as he's talking, I'm thinking, this right here is a wonderful speech. Very well thought out, great plan, shows compromise, shows he's willing to reach across the aisle and even touch the funky, nasty, dirty Democrats. Okay, yeah, because you don't want to touch them. They give you just nothing but nonsense. You can catch that from them. But he was willing to do that, all right? And as he's saying that, I'm wondering, right now as he's speaking, what type of diabolical response is the left putting together? Now, I want to show you, just in this clip that we're going to go over in a second, the real intentions and the real purpose of the funky, crooked, dirty, liberal media. They're not media outlets. They are advocates. They are really, they're like lobbyists for the Democratic Party. They're strategists. They're Democratic strategists that simply come up with a way to spin a proposal that makes sense and make it appear to not make sense. And what they rely on is low political IQs of their viewers. That's what the two things, low political IQs and low social IQs, meaning you can't see for some reason why illegal immigrants coming across the border is dangerous to you and us. Then I'm going to throw in the third one. And hyper emotional viewers. People who lead with the feelings. People who can't see through the fluff and all of and you know what? Look at the children. The people who give to everything they see on TV because it starts off with the slow song, in the arms of an angel. All of that stuff. They don't do the research on it. They just see pictures, clips, and say, oh my God, why we have to do something? Those people, okay? So remember, low social IQs, okay? As if you don't know, locking the door and making sure strangers don't come in will get you hurt, okay? I mean, you can't leave it open. You get jacked up. So your social IQ got to be low. I mean, everybody knows gates, doors, all that stuff. It protects you, okay? The other one, voter IQ or political IQ, very low. They don't understand gaslighting. They don't understand painting fake narratives and they don't know anything about, creating all types of information operation projects. They don't know nothing about that. They don't know the real corruptness that goes on to push an agenda. See, so what they're doing is they're relying on trusting the media as if these crooked people don't work for the Democratic Party. All right. So this lady is one of those people. Now, it couldn't have been no more than about 20 minutes after Donald Trump got finished with his speech. Instead of internalizing it, instead of trying to say, hey, you know what? Some stuff made sense, some stuff didn't. Let's look at her take on it.
Is the shutdown over? Is the wall coming? I'm going to get right to the deal tonight. To quote Frank Costanza, this isn't my kind of deal. That's right, Trump's salvo to Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, it's hardly a deal at all. Here's why. For one, it still includes $5.7 billion in funding for a wall. A wall, Pelosi has said, again.
Now notice, when Trump did his speech, he talked about what includes money for the wall and beds for all of the illegal immigrants and hiring more border agents and drone technology, all of that stuff. But see, here's propaganda, y'all. Here's information operations. At its best, they leave that out. She only wants you to focus on the wall. All right, $5.7 billion for the wall. And she never talked about how that's a small bucket of our national spending, and we're willing to give way more money to other countries, the ones that's sending their people here, but yet won't spend that money to protect us. I'm just saying. But she don't want y'all to know that. So she wants you to think this whole thing he just presented was stupid. All right, let's continue.
Today, she will not consider. For another, it doesn't reopen the government. Democrats have also been clear they won't negotiate an immigration deal while the government is shut down.
So her second point is it doesn't open the government. Of course it doesn't open the government because the Democrats are lying when they tell you, well, I tell you what, you go ahead and open the government first and then we'll talk about it. Does that mean you're going to give me what I want? Because Trump asked Nancy that when they were all in their private meeting, when they lied and said Trump pounded the desk like a baby and ran out. Well, during that time, when they said, well, why don't you open the government and then, we can talk about it. Trump said, well, you going to give me the money, afterwards? No, then we ain't got nothing to talk about. So he walks out. So what they're doing is like what they did in the past. Give me what I want, and then I'll give you what you want. They hitting them with the okie doke, like a big brother who's like, hey, why don't you go downstairs and make some Kool-Aid? I don't want to go make any Kool-Aid. Well, if you make Kool-Aid, I'll help you put together your model toy. Really? Well, help me now. No, I'll help you after you make the Kool-Aid. And you know what's going to happen afterwards. Thanks for the Kool-Aid, buddy. Peace. So Trump knows that. The rest of the presidents in the past fell for the okie doke. And Trump is going, I'm not going to fall for that. That's why he's not going to open up the government. Because if they were serious about negotiating and they gave a written commitment up front saying, open the government and we will fund the wall, okay, then it wouldn't be a problem. They're just saying, take our word for it. Look at us. We're trustworthy.
Then there's the DACA element. Democrats and even Trump himself have previously moved away from a temporary extension of protection for DACA recipients because that very issue has moved into the court system. But the real reason this
Of course it moved into the court system, okay? Because Obama made an executive order to put DACA in place, and Trump said, well, you know what? Let's fix the whole problem instead of having a temporary fix. And the Democrats had a chance to do it before, but they didn't want to. See, because they don't really want to fix problems. They just like those problems for talking points. So then when they abandoned the project, well, guess what? Now it's open and it's going to go to the courts, all right? And so they could go ahead and take care of this. It don't even have to go to the courts if they're willing to take Trump's deal right now. Okay, because they're saying Trump doesn't have the right to withdraw DACA recipients from this whole, see, all of that garbage. So that makes it go to the court. But they can stop it going to the court. And if I was a recipient, a DACA recipient, I would be pissed because the Democrats are simply using them.
Deal is no deal. It comes at the end of a very bad week for the president.
Bad and how?
As the very real shutdown effects come into sharp focus and the White House struggles to spin this in their favor, this deal seems more like a distraction and less like a real solution. Just look at the president's very bad week. There were those shutdown polls, all of them, which showed Americans place the blame for the government shutdown squarely on the shoulders of President Trump. These are just four.
Okay, just because they poll a couple people who says, well, yeah, I placed the blame. How did they word the thing anyway? Do you feel by Donald Trump saying that he would accept blame for the government shutdown over the wall, that he's responsible for the shutdown over the wall? Well, yeah. Why didn't they ask them, but do you feel that we need money to fund the border and support the border patrol and put barriers up or walls up because they're jumping over and coming across anytime they want to? They don't ask those type of questions. I've seen some surveys where they kind of lead you towards the answer that they want. And then it's a small percentage of people they're interviewing as well. So let's continue.
Of the polls. It was also a week of terrible optics and terrible pain.
One other thing. Did she also say that the Latino support went from 37 to 50, saying Trump's doing a great job concerning the illegal immigration problem? She didn't tell you that one. Yeah, she only wants the polls that support her narrative, right?
The U.S. Coast Guard became the first branch of the military to go without pay as a result of a government shutdown. More than 40,000 members of that service branch got no paycheck on Friday. Some were told to hold garage sales to make some extra cash. The Coast Guard also accepted a donation from USAA to assist service members in need. What a disgrace to our men and women in uniform. The result.
Now, you know what's a disgrace to our men and women in uniform? The fact that all of the Border Patrol is saying, hey, Nancy, Chuck, we need these things. Hey, Nancy, Chuck, our guys are getting killed. Hey, Nancy, Chuck, we don't have enough Border Patrol agents. Hey, Nancy, Chuck, we got people dying out there in the desert because our border laws are so bad that it encourages negative behavior and people risk their lives and their kids' lives, and we have to go out and either rescue them or pick up their bodies. All of these people who are in uniform that have been telling them we need this stuff. It ain't just Trump. It ain't nothing about his ego. It's about practicality. It's about common sense and logic and our professional opinion and suggestion. But they don't care about that. Instead, they want to highlight the fact that, hey, Coast Guard didn't get a paycheck. They didn't get the paycheck and this and that. Okay, but they don't want to talk about all of the Border Patrol people who risk their lives every day and say, just help us out a little bit. Y'all spend money all over the place and y'all can't hook us up. They can shut this down right now. They can go ahead and say, let's give the Border Patrol what they need. Let's secure our border. And then we'll have the Coast Guard right back into work.
Also, that cringeworthy tit for tat between the president and Pelosi that began with Pelosi's State of the Union gimmick, suggesting Trump submitted in writing over so-called security concerns. Now, instead of leaving that to ratio on Twitter, though, the president matched it with a cancellation of Pelosi's overseas.
And she's calling that bad? I thought it was great. I thought it was one of the best strategic moves I've ever seen a politician do. It was brilliant, hilarious, and it made Nancy and the rest of the Democrats look like fools. And it showed them that you're not going to beat me at this game. Because I don't embarrass very easy, says Donald Trump, based off his actions. He don't care if they get out there like he was childish. So what? So were they. Nana boo-boo, as the CNN commentator said. So when I heard it, I didn't think that was a bad thing. We all went, that was great. That was a beast right there. Look what Trump did. But according to her, it was horrible. Yeah. All the things she's saying, I'm going, I don't see what the problem was. The week was great. And then it ended up even better when BuzzFeed puts out a fake story that all of them start licking their chops and salivating over. Like, we finally got him. This is it. This is the big one. They hit us with the Fred Sanford. Lamont, this is the big one. Elizabeth, I'm coming to see you. Hit us with that and then found out it was fake. Great week for Trump. Then he drops a bombshell story, a proposal like this, and we're all going, wow, he just put the cherry right on top. But according to CNN, or whoever this lady is, yeah, CNN, horrible week.
Congressional delegation to Brussels, Egypt, and Afghanistan, drawing the ire of many, including Republicans like Trump wingman Senator Lindsey Graham, who tweeted, one sophomoric response does not deserve another. Finally, of course, the president had Rudy Giuliani to contend with. His eyebrow-raising interview with our Chris Cuomo on Wednesday, in which the lawyer lied and said he never said the Trump campaign hadn't colluded with Russians, surely didn't do the president any favors. So will this non-deal turn the tide? Let me ask
Well, now, you know what's funny about that? She never comes back and say, but he clarified that. He said, I work for the president, but in the meanwhile, I still have not heard of not one Trump campaign member colluding with the Russians. All right. So he clarified that. And it's very convenient that she would just put that up right there. She didn't, she don't want to put the rest of the statement up or the clarification. Her whole job, her whole mission was to undermine what Trump had just laid out there. Now you see what you're working with. You're not working with just the Democrats. You're working with their minions in the liberal media. Their whole job is to work on behalf of the Democrats. Every once in a while, they'll try to act, like they're neutral or try to switch it up or surprise us by asking a follow-up question or a tough question instead of sitting there bobblehead and going, yes, that makes, no matter what they say about Trump, Trump's the devil. I saw his horns the other day. He had a pitchfork out and everything. Yes, I see. No evidence, no nothing, no, hey, you know what? You do realize that sounds crazy. None of that. It's just straight up always, there's devil, Diablos, it's Lucifer. Oh, yes, tell us more. But But their main job is just to run interference, allow them to get away with just making all types of statements, and be ready for a response to anything positive that comes out about Trump. Thus, the statistics show like 99% of the coverage is like negative about him. But yet he's still winning. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. They need to put this in their pipe and smoke it. Find me every Wednesday, 7:30 on the radio. My link is in the bottom of my blog talk radio show. And also check me out live on YouTube, 7:30 on Wednesdays. And don't forget, check out Extreme Tees. The link is in the bottom. And if you click on the link, put my name in for the promo, you'll get 20% off of the clothing. Also, if you want to donate to Kevin's Corner, there's a link in the bottom. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, notification, and I think that's about it. Notification, share. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And find me on Facebook and Twitter. All right, God bless you. See you next time in Kevin's Corner.